Hello there, guys. Welcome back to Younes Talks Football. I hope all of you are doing well. So, last night, I put out a video. What happens? 5 minutes later, David Ornstein shoots me in the head. That's basically what happened. And now I have to go over what he said last night. So, normally I talk about, the 95th minute equaliser and the 97th minute winner. Nah, David Ornstein got a winner last night. I have to say, he absolutely cooked me. So I can't give you a flipping equaliser the next day, can I? It's a new day, it's a new match. So let's see what he's got in his locker today then. But without further ado, go and check out those videos from yesterday if you haven't done so already. Let's get right into what broke last night after I spoke about Eze heading off to Arsenal with the hijack away from Tottenham. This is what went down. Here it is. So, exclusive, Blueco reach agreement with Brighton and Hove Albion to sign Julio Enciso. Personal terms in place with 21-year-old Brighton midfielder and Paraguay international, expected to initially spend time at Strasbourg, but viewed as long-term Chelsea player. Another one. Another one. But you know what? Before, I would have been a bit like, oh, what are you guys doing, Brighton again? But we have to be honest with ourselves. The players that have come from Brighton, all bar Robert Sanchez. And that's even now a question based on this new season and whether he's going to do well. But everyone else has been really good for us. I can't even be mad. Cucurella, killing it. Caicedo, killing it. João Pedro, he's just started, but so far has been killing it. Obviously, there's the Palace game, but we got West Ham tomorrow. There's a watch long for that, so make sure you're here. The preview for that will be later on tonight, so make sure you're here for that one as well, with the graphics back, so make sure you're here. Subscribe, notification bell on. So Brighton, it's actually working out really, really well. And to be honest, Enciso, look, last year Enciso dunked on us. If you remember, dunked on us. Yeah? Was he man of the match? I think he was. But he's actually a really good player. He actually is a really good player. And I'm glad he's not coming straight into Chelsea. Because, yeah, you could say, you know what? Yeah, he had a banging season at Brighton, but going to Strasbourg will be wise for him. In the same way that I think it worked out for Andre Santos, and now he's with us. Some people are scared, though. What is this going to mean for Kendry Paez? Because similar roles here. But I guess may the best man win. They're both at Strasbourg, so let them play together and let's see what happens. I think there will be a case of worst case scenario, someone gets sold and we make money. But Enciso to Strasbourg first, signed as a Strasbourg player, and then he'll be, sold to us or even loaned to us. Maybe we won't pay a thing. But let's get into more. Here's Ben Jacobs. Strasbourg set to sign Julio Enciso from Brighton, as David Ornstein called. Understand the initial fee is around 16 million euros. Enciso viewed as a Chelsea player in the long term. A player signed for Brighton by now Chelsea sporting director Paul Winstanley. Sam Gill, also very familiar with the player, having watching him often at Club Le Parted in Paraguay. On top of this, we have Fabrizio Romano. Julio Enciso will join Blueco Group, spending this season at Strasbourg and then joining Chelsea. Here we go. That is the biggest here we go we've ever got. Enciso joined Blueco Club, Strasbourg, but then from there to Chelsea. Here we go. Flipping hell. Season 25-26 in France and then future at Chelsea. Contract until 2031 plus option until 2032. 20 million euro package to Brighton. Add-ons included, medical on Thursday. And the graphic even has both clubs. That is ridiculous, isn't it? That is actually quite mad. Now, what does this mean? Julio Enciso, the details here, is a £12 million deal plus add-ons. Brighton have a sell-on clause. Medical in London, today. No, today, technically today. This came out last night. 1 year at Strasbourg, returns to Chelsea summer 26, will be a Chelsea player until 2031, option to extend till 2032. And funnily enough, that's a picture of him dunking on us at the bridge. I guess he passed the audition. Do you know what I mean? Look, you can't go wrong with that fee. £12 million for Enciso. I think we've played a blinder here. I really do. For a player of his quality, for £12 million, to Strasbourg, where we get to see his development first, and then we get to make a decision on Chelsea later, I think that's healthy. You know, normally what would have happened in the past, I think, is Chelsea just go and sign him immediately. And then we're asking the question, oh my God, what are we doing? Is he ready? Is he not? Why is this too soon for him? You know, this structure, though, is a really, really good structure. So let's see. Strasbourg are playing Conference League qualifying, if I'm not mistaken. So they might end up qualifying for that, and then we'll see if they do play European competition. But that could be something even for Enciso that could work out pretty well. Let him spend the year at Strasbourg. We got to keep an eye on Strasbourg now. There's many of our players that are there now. I think technically this one is technically the fourth. We got 3 on loan there. And this guy is a Strasbourg player, but he's coming to Chelsea later. But he's a Strasbourg player. He's not on loan. He's been signed as a Strasbourg player. So that is something that we've got to watch out for. This year, Strasbourg, pay attention, development. I think that needs to be done. So Enciso, look, he definitely is a talent. In fact, his first year in the Premier League, he lit it up, considering what Brighton were capable of doing. He actually really, really did well. Really well. So for this fee, I'm all in favour of this. It's a talent. You can't go wrong. For 12 million, you cannot go wrong. And look, worst case scenario, you best believe he ends up at Chelsea and underperforms or something, we could easily triple this fee. Easily. 12 million. In the future, we could sell Enciso for 40 million if we wanted to. I reckon we could. Like, that's the worst case scenario. But, because we have to also bear in mind here, yeah, this is something that I think I've learned, and I think people need to also learn about. There's 2 things here. There's one, it came out today about the settlement that Chelsea have with UEFA in terms of how much spending we're allowed to do and how much above deficit we're allowed to go. If not, we get we get banned from European competition for 3 years. We're only allowed to hit 20 million above 0. If not, we get banned. This is why we've got such an emphasis on net spend. We have to sell as much as we buy. We want to buy this player and that player. Well, cool. How much is that worth? Well, we have to sell the equivalent. We need to bear that in mind. And point number 2, the revenue that we make at Chelsea based on being at Stamford Bridge as it stands at the moment is low. Compared to other clubs, it's low. We need a bigger ground. We have reached the point now where we have outgrown Stamford Bridge as it is at the moment. So whether we expand Stamford Bridge or whether we move to Earls Court, we need to do something. We have to do something. We can't stay like this. If not, we're going to have to find ways to make money. And this is one of them. You know, being able to get players in, even if they're kind of cheap, but, you know, you increase their value. They're not really going to be in the plan. You increase their value. You sell them off. Boom, we make a profit. That is the club's quickest possible way to make money to keep the books balanced. That is something that we have to acknowledge. Up until we get a new stadium, that is going to have to keep going on. So we have to be wary of that. But Enciso, best case scenario, he kills it, and we brought in a talent like him for 12 million. And then he ends up at Chelsea and he lights it up. Who knows? Who knows? So let's wait and see. But let me know your thoughts on Enciso joining Strasbourg and then Chelsea later. Let me know. Do you like it? Do you not? Let me know down below. Now, something I don't like. I said this yesterday and now it's been confirmed. First it was Dortmund, who I'm going to come to later because they thought they were smart. Bayern Munich came next. And now it's Leipzig. And I said, Leipzig, you better not. You didn't listen, did you? Leipzig's position on Christopher Nkunku has not changed. Interest is there, they admire him, and Leipzig remain in contact with Chelsea. However, a permanent transfer is currently ruled out by RB Leipzig. If anything, it would have to be a loan deal. Chelsea's stance remains clear. A permanent deal, or at the very least, an obligation to buy. Leipzig, get out. Listen, I say it. We should never deal with a German club ever again. Never. I'm done with them. You lot are taking them. You lot are broke. Just listen. You lot are trying to play the rich without having the cash. You know? You're that guy that owns one Gucci top and tries to flex on Instagram. That's you. You ain't got that. You haven't got the facilities for that. Stop. Stop. It's okay. You shop at Primark. It's okay. Big up Primark, by the way. I'm not saying that's a bad thing. I like Primark. In fact, Primark is something where even if you do make money, it's like, no, some things that you still got to be Primark, you know. Hey, Primani. I call it Primani, yeah? But these German clubs, you just ain't got the facilities for trying to buy players from big clubs. Just don't. Go and shop at... I mean, Bayern Munich tried to shop at Stuttgart and failed. I mean, do I need to say any more? Listen, who else is interested in Nkunku? Yeah? Forget Germany. Who else wants Nkunku? You interested? Listen, it's 35 million. Pay up and you can take him, no problem. Anyone interested? Surely. Because these clubs are taking the mick. So... forget them. Dortmund, though, I got something to say. So hold that thought. I'm coming to you later. Let's get to... obviously not this. This is a nice summer Mackenzie top. But no, I have something to show you. The third kit has been released. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. This is Total London. As blue hour falls over our city, a classic returns, built for the new age. Black and silver with a flash of blue, the badge of 2005 reborn. A Total 90 comeback story where history and future collide. Our 25-26 Nike Football Total 93rd kit is available now online and in the mega store. Look at this. Oh boy. There's Steval, now Pedro, and we've got the women's team as well involved. We've got all sorts. But this kit bangs. Liam Delap bangs, absolutely bangs. Total London. Very, very nice to see. Here it is, the new third kit. This is paying homage to, if you remember, the 2004-05 third kit. And I think it's safe to say the player that comes to mind straight away, and I had this already, but then I had this reconfirmed by big up Toby on Twitter. Toby, he knows who he is. But he put up a little video of the new shirt and he put it on and he got out his old one from 2004-05. And who was on the back? Iron Robin. When you look at that kit, you think Robin. You just do. Iron Robin all day long, yeah? Because the goals he scored, I remember, he scored against Crystal Palace, I think, in that third kit. And it was absolutely phenomenal. Like top corner, top bins, I remember that. Cut in and shot. That kit, it's paying homage to that kit because that was the kit that we had, one of the kits that we had in our 2004-05 season where we won the Premier League for the first time. And the first league title in 50 years. So this kit pays homage to that and it does a very, very good job. Remember, this is an official Total 90 kit from Nike. This is proper. On top of this, I mean, look at this. Chelsea's Nike third pre-match top. Oh my God. All Nike needed, yeah? All they needed to be great again was bring back Total 90. That's it. That is it. That's all they had to do. Bring back Total 90. That's it. Nike are now goated. Because the Total 90 series, without question, was the best series that Nike have ever done. Hands down. That era, Total 90 lit up the entire world. Yeah? And this comes from an Adidas guy. Like I said yesterday, I was the guy that was, you know, wearing Predators. I was the guy that was siding with Adidas. I was never a Nike guy. But I always appreciated how good it actually was. Total 90 was the best that Nike have had to offer, I think, of all time. And the fact that they've brought this back and they've done it justice. They have really, really done it justice. This looks good, man. It looks really good. For the first time since we got Nike through the door, right? For the first time, they've actually come out with bangers. Now, this season, all of our shirts are quality. Quality. I just can't wait to see the sponsor. That's something that we know is quite advanced. We know it's down to 3 names. We know that we're pretty close, and I think it's going to be Riyadh, but we'll see when the time comes, hopefully soon. We'll see how the sponsor's going to look on the shirt as well. But let me know your thoughts. Do you like it? You not? If you don't, I'm sorry, but what do you like? If you don't like this, what do you like? You know, and this is coming from someone heavily critical of what we've done with Nike so far. It's been horrible, but this is the best work that they've produced for us. Finally, they got there. Let's move. Dortmund, come back in the room. Come back in the room. You lot thought you were sick. You lot thought you were sick, yeah? You thought you were clever. But Chelsea are playing chess, and you lot are playing Connect 4. Not even checkers. Connect 4, yeah? An even simpler game. Here's the latest. Patrick Berger says, Borussia Dortmund and Chelsea are in direct talks over a loan move for Aaron Anselmino. Chelsea have proposed a double deal to Dortmund. Carney Chukwuemeka on a permanent transfer and Anselmino on loan. Borussia Dortmund are targeting a young and talented centre-back. Talks with Chelsea remain ongoing. Dortmund discussing the name Anselmino internally. On top of this, Fabrizio clarifying Borussia Dortmund are now in advanced talks with Chelsea to sign Chukwuemeka on a permanent deal from Chelsea. Chelsea always requested permanent and the deal is advancing. Dortmund also won Anselmino on loan. Amazing how this has happened, isn't it? And we got more. Anselmino already said yes to Dortmund loan. Carney Chukwuemeka strongly wants Dortmund. Chelsea informed Dortmund that Anselmino loan will only be possible if Chukwuemeka deal is permanent. Checkmate, Dortmund. Checkmate. We have made our move and you know where to go. Next time, and to be fair here, yeah? Dortmund have actually got a good deal here, to be fair. What is the good deal? Well, they were hesitant on paying for Carney Chukwuemeka on a permanent. But now they're going to be getting a permanent Chukwuemeka and they're getting Anselmino on loan. But that sorts us out because we need Anselmino to go on loan and we need Chukwuemeka sold. So I think everyone's a winner here, right? Everyone is a winner here. But it's amazing that Dortmund now actually do have the money to get a permanent deal. That means you always had the money to get a permanent deal done. You just didn't want to. You were trying to get a loan. You sneaky buggers. I'm telling you, these German clubs, I don't want to deal with them ever again. I really don't. I really don't. You know, they're not serious. But you should be thanking us, yeah? We've given you a lifeline because, yes, you get Chukwuemeka on the permanent now and you know that you can do the deal. Like, we know you can do the deal. But you also get Anselmino on the loan and that sorts us out. So you should be counting your blessings that we exist and we're happy to do this, you know. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Flipping it. In fact, we're still entertaining them and we didn't just send Anselmino out somewhere else. You lot should be saying thank you. Now, that's the latest coming out of Dortmund. We're going to get Chukwuemeka sold there and we're going to get Anselmino on the loan, which is a very good situation for us and for the players. So let me know what you think down in the comments. Man United think they're sick as well. Andre Santos was brought up in discussions for Alejandro Garnacho, but Chelsea don't want to sell. You lot are mad. United, honestly, man. I mean, you know, it's a nice try. But what were you thinking? Really? You thought Chelsea would go, oh, no, you know what? Yes, that maybe we can do that. Really? Come on, man. At least be realistic, you know? At least be realistic. So anyway, that's not happening. Santos isn't going anywhere. And Garnacho, like I said earlier, based on the UEFA settlement agreement that we've seen today, we now know why we need Nkunku and Jackson to be gone. And then Simons and Garnacho will come in. So, still eyes on Nkunku and Jackson. We need to get this sorted. Now, Ben Chilwell has done something, and I think this deserves credit and attention. So here it is, from Henry Winter. Ben Chilwell met scientists working towards a cure for childhood brain tumours and donated £25,000 to their work at Queen Mary, London on Tuesday. England and Chelsea left-back, who finished last season on loan at Palace, is patron of Shay's Smiles, charity established in memory of Shay Patel, a Chelsea fan who died from glioblastoma, brain tumour, aged 13. Shay's favourite Chelsea player was Chilwell, and he felt an extra connection as both had played for grassroots club Woburn Lions, now Woburn and Wevenden FC near Milton Keynes. Chilwell accompanied Shay's family to the Brain Tumour Research Centre of Excellence at Queen Mary this week. Until I met Nikki and Dinu, Shay's parents, I wasn't aware how tough the outlook was for brain tumour patients. Chilwell says, it was shocking to discover that 1 in 3 children who die of cancer is killed by a brain tumour. September is Childhood Cancer Awareness Month. This, I thought was only right to just show because this is something that went under the radar. No one really knew. But this is what Chilwell's done behind closed doors. And I always appreciate when people do things without having to show it off to the world. You know what I mean? It's not a bad thing to show it off to the world because it sets an example to others to go and do it. But I also admire those that just keep it quiet, don't have to make a big deal. They do their charity, they give, and no one really knows about it except the people that receive. And I think that's some of the best forms of charity that you can give, no matter how much, or even if it's a smile, just to make someone's day. But the ones that don't go out and brag about it, but just have the intention to just do good. And I think Chilwell has done exactly that. 25 grand to this is obviously a really nice gesture. And he's gone and spent time with the parents, and he's been into Queen Mary, and he's helped out this whole foundation and what's happened here. This is just top stuff from Ben. So big up to Ben Chilwell for this. And this is the reality that there's many parents and families going through with their children, unfortunately, that have to go through this sort of thing. So nice work, Ben Chilwell. Thank you very much. So credit to him. And I hope everyone that's going through this sort of thing at the moment has the strength and the hope that, you know, things will get better. So let me know your thoughts down below on that. Ben Chilwell obviously leaving Chelsea very soon. We don't know to where, but he's leaving soon. We'll see where. Now, Arsenal. Let's move before we end. I hope this isn't true. Arsenal have added Lyon's Malik Fofana to their shortlist and could make a move for the €40 million rated forward in the final days of the window, says L'Equipe. Hang on. He's not 40 million rated. He's 50 million rated because we were interested, Liverpool were interested, and Lyon tried to come out and go 50 million. No. Don't bring the price down. No. Now, was this before they got Eze or not? Or are they going to get Eze and Fofana? I got to be honest with you. No. I wanted Fofana. I wanted this Fofana. I told you guys. Remember when it was between Gittins and Fofana? And I was like, no, I want Fofana. And now we got Gittins. Fofana is just... Go and watch him. Go and watch him, man. You know, when you have a young player who's a prospect, but you're like, that's the sort of prospect I need in my team. You don't want to sign all the young players in the world, you know, like we've been very guilty of. But, you know, there's always that one guy. You're like, nah. That one I would have. Fofana I would have. Such a technical, brainy dribbler, technical footballer who takes players on but has the skill, has the intelligence, and I think has such a scope to grow. If Arsenal get Eze and Fofana, where people are saying Eze is not an in-and-out left winger, which is correct, but they actually do go and get an in-and-out left winger like Fofana as well as Eze in the team, then I got to be honest here, Arsenal are cooking. Arsenal are actually cooking, and now I begin to actually get a little worried here. You know, like I said yesterday, with Eze, now we got to put our, headlights on and go, yo, Arsenal are serious. They get Fofana on top. That is depth that you would want to have in your team. And that actually bolsters their left-hand side. They would be stacked. Fofana, Eze, Gyökeres, Saka, and then Madueke, of course, is back up to Saka. But that is stacked overall. That's something that you have to pay attention to, and obviously Odegaard in behind the main man up top. Could that get Arsenal over the line to win the league? You have to start asking that question. You actually have to start asking that question, because up until this point, before any of this, I'm like, nah, Arsenal are still missing things. But with Eze, and if they get Fofana on top of that, nah, at that point, I'm like, yo, they're there. They're going to be there. You best believe they're in the race. You best believe. So let's hope this doesn't happen, because Eze's walked through the door. But let me know your thoughts on that. News from Rodrygo in Madrid. We've got Edu Aguirre saying Rodrygo wants to stay at Real Madrid. He is very motivated. Basically writing off any move to leave Real Madrid. Not happening. That's done. So, and it looks like that way. Rodrygo's not going anywhere. Just not going anywhere. And anyone that was partly interested is just no longer interested. I think it's the signal to everyone that the play is not moving. So I think we can all forget it. Now, talking about left wingers and what went down yesterday, I'm going to end on this because Tottenham make me laugh. Here it is. So breaking, Spurs are left fuming over how Eberechi Eze saga has unfolded. Deal was fully agreed with the player. A big announcement video was already prepared. And the squad was looking forward to his arrival. You guys don't learn, man. You just don't learn. You'd think after Willian, you would have like things in place by now. Nah, you've been done again. You've been done again. You know? And with Willian, it was kind of worse. You done the medical for him. So, I mean, cheers for that. We didn't have to do a medical. You just had to bring his report over. But you'd think you would have learned by now. You know? Always wait for the deal to be done. He's shown up at your training ground and then start filming the announcement video and then send it off to the editors. And look, you're Tottenham. Yeah, you've got the budget of what? I mean, you hold concerts and boxing events and go-karting under your stadium and all sorts. You should be minted with money. NFL matches. You should have enough money to have 5 editors on standby at any moment and thumbnail creators at any moment. When you need it, I need a video in an hour. And just send the footage over and they get it chopped instantly just for an announcement video. You should have that. So why did you prepare everything too far in advance when you knew that the deal wasn't completely over the line? Why don't you learn from your Nah, I know why. Because this is the history of the Tottenham. This is the history of the... It wouldn't be Tottenham. If Tottenham were doing things correctly, they wouldn't be Tottenham. This is part of being Tottenham. So you know what? Keep doing you. Because, like I said, this is the history of the Tottenham. So... thank you very much. Let me know your thoughts down below. Much appreciated. I will catch all of you tonight for the West Ham Chelsea preview. So make sure you're here for that. And any additional news that pops up from now up until then, I will talk about in that video as well. So I'll catch all of you then. Look after yourselves, people, in a bit. Take care and peace.